Time for our weekly pet advice with University Veterinary Care Center. Joining us live from our remote studio is Dr. Travis Gratton. Dr. Gratton, good morning.
Good morning, Erin.
Well, I think we can all agree that bunnies are so cute and cuddly, and even growing up, we had several pet rabbits that were rather enjoyable. And with Easter coming up, some may be thinking about adopting a pet rabbit. But in general, is that a good idea? Do they make good house pets?
They really aren't too bad as far as house pets. They're relatively small, compact. They certainly get a lot of hair. Dander, allergies can be a problem for a lot of people. But they're relatively easy to litter train and are fairly good at doing litter training. But accidents always do happen, so we've got to be prepared for that.
Of course. Well, and I know my parents, the biggest complaint they had with my sweet little Daisy, that she'd hop around the house chewing on the furniture, chewing on the trim. No wood was safe in our house.
Absolutely. One of the bigger things you do have to consider is that everything needs to be bunny proof. They definitely need a habitat or access in the house where things to chew on are appropriate, because they do love chewing and digging at surfaces and power cords and computer cables, and all those types of things are not safe with a rabbit around.
Well, what are some other things that people should consider before bringing home a bunny?
Well, certainly size. We get the little dwarf bunnies have become very popular, although they do tend to have a lot more dental problems, as they don't have the really typical elongated nose and facial structures. We get into the cute little rounded face. They tend to have a lot more dental problems because their teeth don't line up the way they should. Their teeth do grow continuously throughout life, which is part of the reason why they chew so much. And if they aren't being worn down continuously in a normal manner, then they do develop problems with the teeth.
Well, you mentioned problems with teeth. Are there other health considerations that come along with owning a rabbit?
Yeah, intestinal problems certainly are very, very common in them. They're very dependent upon their diet. They have a huge population of bacteria that live in their intestine that ferments and breaks down all the roughage that they eat. So they do need, fresh, clean hay all the time, fresh, green, leafy vegetables, minimal amounts of simple carbohydrate things. So diet is important, and we always have to keep that in mind when we're treating them. Respiratory problems also fairly common. A couple of agents that cause potentially severe and sometimes even fatal diseases with respiratory problems, so sneezing, runny eyes, gooey eyes, head tilts from ear infections, all those things need to be addressed pretty rapidly with rabbits.
Okay, we are almost out of time, but I'm curious, general life expectancy with a pet rabbit.
Yeah, the dwarf breeds tend to, live 6, 8, 10 years of age. If you get into some of the giant breeds, which, they can be 25, 30 pounds. I mean, they're huge for rabbits. Those guys can make it up into the upper teens and even push 20 years of age. So surprising. Most people don't think that rabbits will be around for that long.
Yeah, I mean, it's almost the life expectancy of a dog. That is surprising. All right, well, there is a lot to consider. Dr. Gratton, thank you so much for being with us today. And for more information about University Veterinary Care Center, just head over to universityvetcare.com.